I just literally wouldn't be able to live. And that's the truth. It's the truth. It's a harsh truth.
Hello everyone, we're here today with another amazing artist. Everybody, Lozinky.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm all good, yeah. More chill. Had a good day.
Lozinky, tell me about yourself. Tell me, when did you start your musical journey and what happened? Why music?
Music is life. It's on my arm. Tattoos on my arm. Music is life. I've got a lot of music in my family. So like my uncle, he's in a band. My granddad, he was always like a musician. Done things in his lifetime. And it's just something I've always done since I was little. I used to write poems when I was a kid. And like upbringings of different things, of the situations and scenarios I've been in, I used to turn it into a story. And then that's where it come from. Just pain, experiences, just things I've seen in my life. Yeah.
When did it got serious?
Properly, like being on a serious level, was about 3 years ago. Yeah, because I was just sitting there one day just producing beats and I was listening to it and like I had this like a really vibe with it and I was like, oh my God, you know that feeling when you make something and you're like, that is perfect. I'd done that. And so I wrote a song to it when we couldn't go anywhere. We were shut in our homes for like a couple of months or whatever it was, a year or something. And then I just released it and went to a distributor and just got out there. Yeah. Took it serious them days.
Interesting. So you told me that you have music in your family as well.
So it's just me uncle and me granddad.
Do you think that helped you to be a musician?
Yeah, definitely. When I was little, my uncle actually used to do a project and it was like a bus that would travel around Liverpool. And it used to be a music bus and he'd get all the kids off the streets and they'd be on this bus and then he'd ask me if I'd want to go down and rap and sing on the bus and there'd be a drummer, someone on the bass and then he'd get all the kids off the street and they'd all get involved and it was like a project to like help teenagers and young ones to get involved in something and you know not be stuck on the streets doing other things. Like it was trying to give them a bit of inspiration and stuff.
Something positive for the community. That's great. That's really good. So when Lozinky wants to describe herself as a musician, how do you describe yourself?
Recording artist and producer.
Because I assume that a lot of young and upcoming musicians or people who are getting into music would struggle to be able to describe their arts and describe their skills. To say, oh, how should I describe myself? I play a bit of a piano, but am I like a pianist or?
These are the thoughts I've actually been having the past few months actually that you say that. Because like I'm sort of like R&B, but I do hip hop, but then it's like I'm still finding myself as an artist. And I feel like the further the journey, the more I find myself and start understanding a bit more about myself as a musician.
That's actually a beautiful way of looking at it. And I agree 100%. I think it's like a puzzle that it's not complete and you just, every once in a while, you put a piece there and it starts to just become a picture.
Just like grows and...
Exactly. So from what you said, we can get that you don't have to know the final thing that who exactly you are, but you should keep yourself open to exploring new things like being a pianist, being a guitarist, see what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Whatever, like, you know, your path, whatever path you take, like, you can always learn more and you can always progress and you can always, there's no stop to it. You're always gonna find yourself more and more through time and you learn every day. And that's what it is. I've realised like there's things 2 years ago I didn't know about the music and how to do things that I now know now. And I just knew through time of doing it and just progressing and stuff.
Practicing, yeah, of course, exploring and practicing. So when you wanna produce music, do you tie yourself to one specific genre or you just keep your mind open to new experiences and just let that thing to guide you? How does it happen?
So like I am like a hip hop artist, R&B, but there's sometimes where I sit there and I'll start producing like a bit of drum and bass or a bit of techno. Like I can't. It's a natural. Like I'll just be sitting there and I just start doing it, and it naturally turn into a different type of music. But I still am a hip hop artist and R&B, but I do like to do a little bit of everything.
Interesting.
It's quite fun as well, really. You know, I love it.
Do you play any instrument?
So I can play the piano. I use a MIDI keyboard to produce music. I have DJ'd years ago when I used to work at a youth centre with kids. And I've played the drums, but I don't actually play bass or nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's something that I have tried to do for so many years, and I am struggling to get to do it. It's but I'm easier with hands-on kind of things like pianos, making beats, playing the drums, things like that. When it comes to like bass or guitar,
strings and stuff.
It's a bit different for me.
Do you think it's important to play an instrument to be an artist?
It depends, because if you're naturally that into music and you're naturally like you love it that much, where you were born and it was just a thing, like you were born with a gift. If you were naturally into music, you wouldn't need to know keys to anything. You'll just hear the sound and it would vibe right. If you know what I mean. I feel like a true musician doesn't need to have a certain way to do something. It doesn't need to be this key or that key or this note and that note. Music is sound, and if something sounds amazing, then that's all that matters.
They're a guitar player that they have no idea what notes are they playing.
Yeah.
But they're great musicians, or singers as well. They don't know what note they're singing, but they're brilliant singers, you know, because
I mean, it is good to know notes and strings and everything like that, but it's also just good to feel it, and that's what's important. If you can feel that music and you can feel it inside you when you're doing it, it's really important.
Have you released any songs so far?
So I have released one not long ago, a few months ago. It's called Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna put the links down in the description. Make sure you click on it and listen to it.
But my most recent one is called Still Shining.
Still Shining.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it promotes LGBT. It's also promoting people to just feel like they can be themselves.
They can be who they want to be.
Just be who you want to be. Basically, shine. Just keep going, keep climbing. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I'm going to put that one in the description as well. Make sure you go click on it and have a listen to that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you think, because we're living in the Google era, YouTube era, TikTok era, social media era, which is an algorithm, right? Do you think number is important in terms of producing the number of contents, the number of songs that you produce?
So I think so I've got two thoughts on this. So one thought is I don't think it isn't important about the number of songs. Why? Because you could do 20 songs or 3 albums, and the 2 albums no one would vibe to, but that one album someone could. Whereas, or you could do like 10 singles and only 2 of them everyone loves, but the others they're just there sitting there. And I've realised that with my own music too. Certain songs I've done, it's good, but you know, I haven't put me all into it. Whereas now, every song I do now, I put my all into it, like 100%. And yeah,
So if you had a chance to release one really good quality song a year, or one album a year in terms of quality, might not be that great, but it still is a message. that you want to send to your audience, and you want to share with your audience, which one would you choose? You would choose the one?
I'd choose a single.
Oh, the single.
Because I feel like
excuse me.
if I do a single, and in that single it's got a powerful message in it, then if that was to just be there for a whole year, or even like if I'd done 2 singles a year, that will really, really stick. And it show that message to the world, and it will always be played. And whereas if I put an album out, it's good for people to listen to so many different things. But the more albums that get put out, it then people can't make a decision on what song they like the most, and they sort of forget what they're listening to. Kind of thing.
Do you think that there is any kind of pressure from social media that you have to look in certain ways, say certain things, or behave in certain way?
There is, but I don't let that bother me. But for a lot of people, it is pressure for a lot of people out there, because everything now is like, they say about being unique and being yourself, but I see a lot of people who also do the same, and that is getting noticed of being the same kind of artist nowadays. Especially in my world as a rapper, all rap, like I absolutely love rap music, but as a hip hop artist, it's harder for me to get my music like out there as a message than it is with the rap that's now, like drill. And
I think that's happening to a lot of genres nowadays, that there are a lot of subgenres.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like it's getting mixed now. I just everyone, like there's no like just one. Like now you could do a bit of drill, a bit of hip hop and R&B in one track, mix that with a bit of drum and bass, like, or anything. Like this is what music is becoming now. It's just,
I think there are a couple of reasons for it. That's obviously my personal opinion. One is because people, instead of having albums, like back in the days, they used to have like an album and listen to the whole album, right? But nowadays people have playlists. So they have like a pop song, a rock song, a rap song in their playlist. So it varies in their playlist. And I think one side of it goes back to the artist himself or herself, that when you're growing up, you're influenced by everything that you listen to, whether it's going to be musical or non-musical. And when you decide to be a musician and you want to start making music, doesn't matter melodies or chords or composition or whatever, you are going to be subconsciously influenced by it, right?
Yeah.
And what you listen to is going to influence you to maybe your music has a bit of a jazzy flavor, bit hip hop, a bit pop, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a bit of everything.
It's a little bit of a mix.
Yeah, I agree.
That's like my playlist, to be honest. I just like, I feel like all music, if like it's good, all music's good.
So you said you don't feel that pressure from social media. So how do you deal with it?
I just look at everyone as like, everyone's out doing their own kind of thing, so I don't see it as like, it could be pressure to other people, because other people might feel like they need to do what someone else is doing on their social media, or be that like that, or act like that, or dress like that. Whereas I just see it as everything I look at on social media, that's their own thing, and that's how they want to be, and I just see it as like, well, go for them, you know, go for them. And I'm gonna be who I want to be, and that's what I'll do. Like I don't ever see it as like pressure, because I feel like we're all out here trying to succeed in life, and that's all that matters.
You don't see it as a competition.
No.
You just see they do them, and I do myself, and I be myself.
Yeah, and I
That's
respect
a really good way of doing it.
everyone else as well for doing their thing too. I never see things as a competition, because I feel like you can't, in life, nothing should ever feel like that. And it must be something that maybe you're not happy with if you feel like something's a competition, because it doesn't matter where you are. There's no limit, and there's no time to be somewhere. You will, whatever you want to be in your life, you'll get there in the right time. You can't push it. but you also can't compete with it either. You're gonna get there when you're gonna get there. That's what it is.
How do you deal with your life challenges?
So years ago, I couldn't deal with them. I really struggled with being able to do it a lot. But through the years, as years passed, I've sort of started learning a bit more about myself. It's just more about the fact that when you lose someone and it hurts you that much, it makes you think that life is quite short, and every day you get up, there's no point in wasting time on being so negative against the world and people around you. And even though you've been through something and you can have days where you feel down, and that's okay to not be okay, it's fine. But it's also good to get up and be like, do you know what, I'm going to at least try today. And that's how I do it. I just think I'm going to get up, I'm just going to smile, go through the day, and just get on with it.
The way I look at it, that I would think I can die any day.
Yeah.
Right? But today is an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, I want to use it.
Definitely.
Because tomorrow I might not be here. You never know. I might go out there and I might get hit by a bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to use this opportunity that I would be able to live today, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Lozinky wants to collaborate with others. How do you find collaborators?
There's actually an app for musicians that they can go on. It's called Vampire.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it's not a dating app, but how it works is it's like the way Tinder works as a dating app, but it's not a dating app. It's where people come up and you swipe. If you look on the profile and it says what kind of musician they are,
what are they looking for?
Yeah, things like that. And if you like their profile, you swipe that way, and I think if you don't, you swipe the other way, and you can message them, and then you can link up, you can meet producers on there, DJs, singers, all sorts of entertainment.
Is that how you meet your collaborators, people who you want to work with?
I've met a few through that, yeah. And there's just been like people who I'm collabing with who I've known for years as well.
Okay.
Just through gigs and things like that.
Oh, gigging as well.
Yeah.
Gigging is, I think, one of the best ways to be able to just get to know other musicians and work with them as well. Just go to a bar, go to an open mic, and you will meet a lot of like-minded people to be able to talk to, and just be open, right?
Definitely.
So do you have a mentor, and do you think that's important to be guided by somebody who you look up to?
I don't have a mentor at the moment, but I'm actually working on a few things. So 2023 is going to be a big year. That's all I can say at the moment, but I've got a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm doing a few meetings and things like that, getting a few things together.
That's good.
But it is important, so you can do things on your own. So like obviously I do things on my own, but you also need a team of people behind you as well, because without a team of people, it's impossible, and I'm telling you now, it's impossible to have the time and the effort. Well, the effort, but not to have that time to do everything, it's impossible. With the amount of things you need to do as an artist, you do need a team behind you. And I don't mean a band, I mean a team of people.
Yeah.
To do what you need
because
to do.
Music industry is like a massive industry. Yeah. And if you even look at the people who are on so-called top of the chart, they have a massive team behind them, from promoters, from recording engineers, from mixing engineers, mastering engineers, a lot of people, PRs, a lot of people involved, that you just see that artist right in front of that cover or that music video or that whatever that is, that he or she is shining there. But there are a lot of people working really hard to make that happen.
I know.
And I agree 100%. And I think in my perception, without a good team, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Not because you can't do it, because there's a lot to do.
So much.
You cannot handle that amount of work.
That's what I'm saying. Especially as a musician, we'd have to do all like the writing the songs, or even if we didn't write the songs, but if we do, we have got to do the writing the songs, producing the beats, going to the studio, making sure we warm up our vocals, getting prepared for like a gig. We've got to put all our time and effort into that. So if we put all our time and effort into that, how are we going to have time to do all the other stuff behind the scenes? Things that, you know, need to, like, for instance, promoting stuff, getting things out there, getting gigs booked. Sometimes we don't have the time for that, so the best thing to do is to have a team.
Do you have plan B?
No.
No. So
not at all.
So what are you thinking in your head?
So my head is just for getting a lot of festivals booked in. All I see is the road to just doing bigger and bigger gigs every time I do one. Like, now I'm aiming for more festival kind of stuff and to get on the bigger stages than just in a pub. Because I've done it, like, that's good, I love it. But I've done it for years. I've done it in the past loads, and now I'm venturing out a bit more. And I've done Pride, New Brighton Pride, and I really enjoyed it. And I've done like Liverpool one. They had a big stage there a couple of years ago. And I've realised what kind of artist I am, and I'm more for like a big event kind of stage than just in a pub and bar. Because I feel the audience that way more. I can run around the stage or absolutely go for it, and I really feel it. So I don't have a plan B. I don't even think about the plan B.
Look ahead.
Yeah.
And just go forward.
Yeah.
No plan B, no past.
Nothing.
Okay.
And even if I fall, I get back up. I don't care. I won't let there be a plan B for me. But other people have a plan B, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm fully focused on the plan A.
So where is that plan A?
Just see myself surrounded with, you know, lovely people like yourself, and just always being out there, you know, fully dedicated to music, like 100%, and actually being able to make a living off it as well, and just being able to do what I love and get paid for it.
Sure.
Like, it's a big thing to say, because it's so hard as a musician nowadays to be able to do what you love and get paid for it. And that's they say reach your goal. That's what people love doing. It's the whole point of being, in my opinion, I was born and other people were born on this planet. It was to make a purpose in life. And a lot of people, they find it later on in life because they don't realise they had a purpose until they get older. But mine's always been music, and always to spread messages to the world about situations and things that go on, and for people to be able to understand and feel like they can connect to my music and they're not alone. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you said you released 2 songs, right? So how did you release them? Did you have a release strategy when you wanted to release them, and what did you do?
So I try and release my music on certain days of the month, certain times, and certain hours. So if with numbers, for me, it's important. So obviously, if I release a song on a certain hour and a certain time, it's actually a message.
Wow, interesting.
And it obviously.
So do you believe in numerical patterns?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
100%.
Okay.
But yeah, I try and do that because it's important for it to be out there in the world.
So do you use platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reel and other platforms? There are like millions of them.
Yeah.
Do you use them for promotional purposes to be able to reach?
I use Instagram. Put selfies on there as well. I put the selfies on there and like still put like the song was coming, and put like pictures of me on stage, or like basically updating people when a song's coming out. If I release it on Spotify, I'll put the single cover up before I release it, saying this is coming on this date. I put stories up, put TikToks up, Twitter, Snapchat, just on all social media. I just throw it out there. I just think it's important to make sure you get it on every platform, because people like different ways of seeing things. how it's promoted differently. So I could do maybe a promotion of me talking on Instagram, do one of me dancing on TikTok, or I don't know, maybe a little quote or something. But each one there's a different way I do it for the different audiences.
Do you think social media helped you to reach your goal better and faster?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think definitely, because there's more of a big world out there that can see your music and see your social media. I feel like it's easy nowadays, the hashtags.
Yeah.
Just, making sure you throw to the people that like it, because you're giving them a message, and that's where it comes from. The message. Without that, you could just put a picture up and it'd go nowhere.
That's true.
It's how you do it.
What do you do to make sure that my mind is healthy and I look after my mental health as well at the same time as doing all that promotional stuff?
I read a lot of books, a lot of spiritual books, books that I can relate to.
If you want to recommend 2 books, which books would you recommend for everybody to read?
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power, yeah, I've read that.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
It's a good book. It's really good. And The Law of Attraction.
Law of Attraction, yeah, I agree.
The Law of Attraction books, the power, the magic, the secret, all them books will change your life. Yeah. I have a book from the Secret, and it's like a Bible thing that you open and you write in it the things you can be grateful for. I filled the whole book out in the 3 months that I didn't work because I was depressed. But I done all my goals, and through that time I turned depression into music and the music into goals, and now I'm only just accomplishing. I've read back on the book and seen something from a few months ago, and I'm like, wow, I've already completed that. I didn't think I would, but I didn't know that I'd done that until I looked back on the book and I've been like, some of this I've actually achieved. And I think if you really put your mind to reading, you learn a bit more, you have a bit more knowledge. The more you read, the more you understand things, the more you understand people. And it's really healthy for you, and it's really good for your mind as well.
I agree. I think having the attitude of being teachable and coachable is very important, because that's the only way that I can learn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's important to empty my cup to be able to learn new stuff as well.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Otherwise...
you fill up too much.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
You have a rebirth, that's what it is.
I think for me to be able to change, I have to rebuild myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think there are a lot of things that are happening to me subconsciously, but fundamentally, that for my life to be changed, I have to change them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just the little changes will actually help. Like, it doesn't have to be something major. It could just be like, maybe get up an hour early every morning, and before you leave the house, like, I don't know, maybe write what you're grateful for, or say thank you for even being able to just breathe and waking up every morning.
So have you done anything on social media platforms that just blew up for some reason?
I've done a song called Back to the Basics. It was very bouncy. I can't explain the kind of beat, but I actually used someone else's beat for it. I'd spoken to them about the beat.
Wow.
And it got like it's not like majorly loads, but it got like a couple of past 10,000 views. At the time, that was really, really, really good. But now to me, it's not it's not about how many people watch. It's about spreading a message for me now. Whereas them days, I used to think, I need this many followers, I need that many views. And now I've grew, and 2 years later, I'm like, I don't need that. I just want to spread a message. That's all I want to do. I just want people to feel like they can understand and they're not on their own, and I want people to know things. That's what it is.
Do you think talent exists, or do you think it's purely work ethic?
So it does exist, but you still have to put the work in. So it's a bit of both. You could be born with a talent, but you could there could be people sitting there with a talent, and they're not doing nothing with it. They know they've got that talent, and they're not doing nothing with it. Like say for instance an artist, and they were an amazing drawer, and you seen them draw, and you were like, wow, you're really good, and they're like, oh, thank you, but then you never see them draw ever again. That's a talent, and without putting the work in, then what you know what I mean?
What do you think separates a professional musician from a non-professional musician?
I think what separates it, a non-professional musician be someone that just sings because it makes them feel good, or sings because they enjoy it, like a hobby. Whereas a professional musician is someone that gets up and they plan a strategy and a journey for where they want to go with what they're doing. That's the difference. Whereas someone who has music as a hobby, they could just have a jam with their friends all the time, and that could just become a thing, and then they really enjoy it, and they don't go out, they don't see anything else. They just see themselves sitting there jamming, and they like it, and that's fine, because it's okay, because it's still something we can do, no matter what.
We'll be back. Lozinky, take me into your creation process. What do you do when you want to make a song? What's the very first step that you do?
I sit down and start creating a beat, so produce a beat. Or if I don't want to produce it, I'll look for a really good beat maker, producer, and look for something I can feel. I get like butterflies, when in my stomach when I feel a song, and that's how I know it's the right kind of sound for me. Yeah, without that feeling, it's not right for me. I wouldn't do it.
And you start writing on that so-called beat, or in case of working with a producer, on that kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
And who does the mixing and mastering of the...
So I've done a lot of my own mix and mastering, but I'm actually working on a song at the moment, and I'm going to take that to a proper studio. It's not my own. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to go and get it done and mastered. I'm going to spend just on it, because I feel like this song I'm doing, I want it to be very professional.
Tell me about your future projects. Is there any projects that you're currently working on that you want to tell your audience and your fans and viewers?
Yeah, so I am actually working on a lot of different things. So I've got one, I will have a website up by next year at some point. I haven't got a date yet, but I'm going to have a website up.
Sounds great.
And people can go straight to the website, and there's going to be a few different things on there for them to look at. You could even book me through it as well, which
wow, that's great.
Good. I'm getting myself on a few different gigs. I've got an album I'm working on.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've got a few collabs, and I'm also working on a new single.
Can you name it? What's the name of the single?
Tequila.
Yeah. Let's say you're in the process of making a song, and you get stuck. What do?
I take a break.
Okay, how long? 1 week? 1 week, 1 year, 2 years?
Definitely not that long. Well, then again though, saying that, this tequila song now, I actually, one night, I was having a good time with my friends, sitting there, we were having a little drink, tequila, and I just randomly made a whole song off the top of my head from some other producer that was on this thing I was listening to, and I just come up with this whole song, and I don't know where it come from, and I just sang these verses, and everyone was just like, wow, where's that come from? And I was just like, I don't know. And it was lucky because my friend recorded it, and that's where I then turned that night into a natural song. So I didn't sit there and create that. That naturally happened. And then when I seen the video and it got played back to me, I used that video to write down what I was singing, and that's how I made the song.
That's what it is with creative process,
Yeah.
Because it just comes to you at one certain time, and you have to record it or capture it in a way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to remember it later on.
Yeah,
or even
definitely.
maybe in an hour. If you weren't a musician, who would you be?
I'd probably go and work on a farm. I
Work on a farm?
I love animals, so I just
Okay.
maybe not a farm. Like I don't know. I just can't see any difference. Like it's so hard because that question to me is because like my whole life has just been
Around music.
images of music and visualizations of like things and to do with music. Where would I see myself? I'd probably just go to work, come home and watch TV. But that's the complete opposite to who I am now. So I don't even put the telly on. The only thing I watch is Netflix, because a lot of things on Netflix is like there's things in it that I get, and there's a lot of messages in a lot of series and documentaries on Netflix. That's the only reason I watch it. But I won't turn the telly on. I just won't turn the TV on. I haven't turned the TV on for 2 years properly.
Wow.
I don't watch no reality TV or nothing.
I haven't turned it on for the last 8 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's like the best thing you could ever do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So what do you do to look after your physical and mental health? How do you do it?
So I write. That helps mental health. I also read. Reading is one that got me through the days where I was depressed. One day one of my friends gave me a book.
What's it called?
Do you know what? I couldn't get into it. It was like a fantasy book. But then, because of that, I ended up going to the shop and buying a spiritual book. So then I read that and I got into it. And I read the whole book and I completely forgot that I had depression, because I just sort of like it took me away from, and it made me realise a lot. So it was a weird. So
reading book, would you say it's some kind of an escapism?
Yeah.
That takes you to a place.
You're not in the world, like you're there in this book, and you're taking in this, whatever you read in the story or whatever it is, you're taking it in, and it's in your head and you're thinking about it and you're creating a picture in your head of whatever you're reading, and all that takes you away from anything bad. And that was my way. Reading and writing.
Reading a book.
And producing beats as well.
Is there anything else that you do to make sure that you would be able... You said that you meditate as well, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you do in terms of...
So I've got the meditation is like I've got a singing bowl, if you know what they are.
Singing, no? Wow.
So the vibrations in that are really good for your muscles and your bones and stuff in your body. It's good for your mind as well. So you put it on you've got to hold your hands out like that, and you put it on like the middle of your palm, and you do it slowly, and the more times you do it, the louder the sound gets. The louder the sound gets, you start feeling the vibrations in.
Do you feel it?
Yeah, I feel it in my ears, hits my whole body. And that's how I meditate. Do that like 10 minutes a day, something like that. Okay. Doesn't have to be every day, but even if you get it in twice a week, it's really good for you.
Once in a while, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard actually that certain frequencies trigger certain things in the body, like health got a frequency, like anger got a frequency to it as well. What do you think about the future of music?
It will be music in the metaverse. That's becoming a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know a lot about it, but I do know bits, and I know it's becoming a very big thing, and that's going to be the next new.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of companies like McDonald's and other places, they bought like virtual lands there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't really think it's going to be the same as...
It's not going to be the same, but it's sort of like...
It's accessibility, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like people are starting to create this world in a virtual reality, and they're bringing music into it now. And entertainment. So I do feel like that's a new thing that the world's going to explore. It's the new world. It's the new world. Everything's very technical, and it's just so futuristic now. If you actually look back on some things, like some old programs, is it Star Trek or something like that? There's a few things from years ago we used to watch on the telly, and they had iPads before we even knew what they was. Like, So, you know the way you look at these things and go, oh, that'll never happen, a flying car. I'm telling you now, that is probably already in the making and they're waiting to release that. Because if they've got the metaverse, then there's going to be other things.
Oh, 100%.
There's going to be loads
100%.
coming.
Have you seen the picture of the helicopter in the ancient Egyptian pyramids?
It is. It's wow. It's just things like that. Now you actually mentioned Egyptian, like pyramids. I've got a whole Egyptian sleeve, yeah.
Have you?
I literally love Egypt. Yeah, I need to go. Look, I've got it on my hands. So.
There you go.
Yeah, literally. I think I'm connected to them somehow.
So 3 things that you want to promise yourself in front of the camera that when you walk out of this podcast today,
yeah,
that you got to start doing it if it's a long-term kind of goal, or if it's a short-term thing, you're going to do it.
So I am going to make sure that every day I get up and be thankful. I do that anyway, but I'm going to carry on doing it. And be thankful for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that I give back at least every week. Doesn't matter what it is, just give back to someone or something. Just be nice, kind gesture. And the third one is fully dedicate next year to music only and don't be sidetracked by anything.
I think it's very important to have the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
So 3 things that you're grateful for in your life.
I'm grateful for my music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that I'm alive and I can breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that I have loved ones around me and they're just good people in my life.
Lozinky, last words.
Yeah, I just want to say that I love every single one of yous.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep me going, and I do care about everyone. I do care about all those who keep streaming music, listening, even the little messages I get off them as well. Like, you know, everyone, you all mean a lot to me. And
it's so encouraging. Have you noticed when you receive a message from this person that you don't even know? It's so encouraging.
Like, honestly, like, it's like having a family, a second family. That's what it is.
Thanks very much for coming to our podcast. That's what we do at the end of the podcast. Everybody, I'm going to put all the links to her social media down in the description. I'm going to put all the songs that she mentioned down in the description as well. Make sure you go there, have a listen, and make sure you go to her social media platforms. Give her a follow and follow us for more as well. See you soon. Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you.